Hi there. Hope you have a fantastic day today. This lesson, I will teach you how to solve differential equations. Of course, there is a PDF file versions on the description below for you to download so you can work with me. Otherwise, let's go straight into it. First one, to solve these differential equations, so we need to separate dy with cos of y and then dx on the other side. So in another word, I just cross multiply. So I just do cross multiply like this. So this means that cos y dy, cos of y dy is equal to 1 times dx is dx. So there you go. So now I integrate both sides. So if I integrate on this side, I do the same thing on the right hand side. So integrate cos of y will give me sine of y, because we differentiate sine, give me cos. So that will give me sine of y is equal to integrate dx, give me x. Now that we've finished integrate, so we need to add a constant, that is c. Don't forget. So now we need to find the constant c. So we have the condition is this. That is the initial conditions. So this means that when x is 0, that means y is pi over 4. So we use this condition to find the constant, that is c. So when y is pi over 4, so this becomes sine of pi over 4 is x is 0 at c. So therefore, we know that sine of pi over 4 is 1 over square root of 2. So in another word, this becomes 1 over root 2 is c. So therefore, sine of y is x plus 1 over root 2. So sine of y is x plus c. So c is 1 over square root of 2. But then we need to solve for y. We just go inverse sine of this, okay? So this means that y is sine inverse of x plus 1 over square root of 2. So there you go. Part B. Again, we just need to separate the y functions with dy. Okay, so to do this, first step is I just times dx on both sides. So if I times dx, so this is times dx. And this also times dx. So this means that dy is 4 minus y square square root dx. So now I just divide by square root of 4 minus y square. So that will give me, so I just divide this by 4 minus y square square root. I do the same thing on this side. 4 minus y square square root. So that cancel out. So this will give me dy over 4 minus y square square root is equal to dx. So remember, dy over square root of 4 minus y square is exactly the same as 1 over square root of 4 minus y square times dy. So let me just write in this form so you can see. So this is this. 4 minus y square square root dy is equal to dx. So now I just integrate both sides. So I integrate this side and I integrate this side. Now don't forget, if we integrate f dash x over a square minus f of x all square square root, that will give me sine inverse of f of x over a. So don't forget. So now we know that a is 2 because 4 is 2 square. Then therefore a is 2. So the answer is sine inverse. So this is sine inverse of y over 2. And then we integrate dx, give me x. And of course, after we've done the integrations, we need to add a constant c. So there you go. And we know that the condition is this. When x is 3, y is 0. So we just use that to find the constant c. So 3, 0. So this means that sine inverse. Now y is 0. So 0 divided by 2 still give me 0. Then equal x is 3. We add c. So don't forget, inverse sine 0 is 0. So this is 0. So therefore, 0 is 3 at c. And I move this on that side. So this means that c is negative 3. So therefore, this is 3 negative. Okay. So let me just rewrite this out. So that is sine inverse y over 2 is x minus 3. But then we need to solve for y. Make y as a subject, if you like. So therefore, we just sine on both sides. So that becomes y over 2 is sine of x minus 3. And if I times 2 on both sides, so that means y is 2 sine of x minus 3. So there you go. Part C. So again, we just need to separate the y functions with dy. In another word, in this case, I just do cross multiply. So just do cross multiply like this. So that will give me 3 y dy is 2 dx. So now I just integrate both sides. So integrate this, I integrate this. So integrate 3y dy will give me 3y squared divided by 2. So that is 3y squared over 2. And then we integrate 2 dx will give me 2x. So 2x. And don't forget, we need to add a constant c at the end. So what I do now is I just solve for c. To solve for c, and we have the condition here. So when x is 1, y is equal to 2. So that means when x is 1, y is 2. So that means 3 times 2 squared, which is 4, over 2. That is 2 times 1 is 2. We add c. So therefore, we go 4 divided by 2, give me 2. And 2 times 3 is 6. So 6 is 2 plus c. So therefore, c is 4. So now what we do, we just substitute c into here. Okay, so that is 3y squared over 2 is 2x plus 4. But then we need to solve for y. So what I do now is I just times 2 on both sides. Okay, so let me just write it on here. So this means that 3y squared is we times 2. So that means 2 times 2x is 4x. We add 4 times 2, give me 8. So there you go. Now I divide by 3 on both sides. So that means y squared is 4x plus 8 over 3. So now we just square root on both sides. So this becomes y equal, so 4x plus 8 over 3. And we square root of this. But then when we take the square root on both sides, the answer should be positive and negative answer. However, when x is 1, we have a positive answer. Y is 2. So that means positive 2. So therefore, we only take the positive answer. So this means that, therefore, y is 4x plus 8 over 3. Square root of that. So there you go. Part D. Again, we just need to separate the dy with e to the negative y. So in another word, let me just times dx on both sides first. So that will give me dy is 2e to the negative y dx. So now I just divide by e to the negative y on both sides. So like this. I divide this by e to the negative y. I divide by this by e to the negative y. So that will cancel out this with this. So dy over e to the negative y, because it's negative in the c, I can bring it up, becomes positive. So that becomes e to the y times dy. So that is e to the positive y dy, which give me 2 dx. So now I just integrate both sides. So that becomes like this. Integrate this and integrate this. So remember, if we integrate e to the f of x dx, that will give me 1 over f dash x, e to the f of x. And we add a constant c. So now we differentiate y, give me 1. So this becomes e to the y divided by 1 or over 1. So that's the same as e to the y. So the answer is e to the y. So that will give me integrate 2 dx will give me 2x. Now that we finish with the integrations, we need to add a constant c. Don't forget, okay? So add c. And we need to find the value of c by using this condition here. When x is 1, y is equal to 0. So let me just write on here. So when x is 1, y is 0. So that means e to the y become e to the power of 0. So 2 times 1 give me 2. Add a c. And don't forget, e power of 0 will give me 1. So 1 is 2 at c. I move the 2 on that side, that becomes minus. So 1 minus 2 give me negative 1 or minus 1 if you wish. So that answer is c. So now, therefore, e to the y is 2x plus c. c is minus 1, so which is minus 1. And we need to solve for y. So I take log base e or ln. They are the same. Okay, take ln on both sides. So that will give me something like this. Okay, ln of e to the y is ln. But because we cannot take ln of a negative number, we need to absolute value of this. Okay, so 2x minus 1, absolute value. Then you remember, ln of e to the y is equal to y. So that is y is ln of 2x minus 1. So there you go. Please pause the video and try this one yourself. Hi there, I'm back. How did you go? Let me go through them with you. Before I do that, please do not forget to give me a thumb up and subscribe if you haven't done so you can help me to grow my channel. So let's get into it. So first one, which is times dx on both sides. So that means dy is 2y minus 3 dx. So now what I do, I just divide it by 2y minus 3 on both sides. So I just divide it by 2y minus 3. And this is divided by 2y minus 3. So this cancel out, of course. So this means that this is exactly the same as 1 over 2y minus 3 dy. That is equal to dx. So now I just integrate both sides. So if I integrate this, I integrate this, okay? So do not forget, if we integrate f dash x over f of x will give me ln of f of x. Of course, with absolute value at a constant. So that's what that meant. So now if you think about it, if we differentiate this, will give me 2. But the numerator is 1. So we can make it 2 by just times this by 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. And that's this divided by 2. So they cancel out. I times 2, I divide by 2. So we just cancel it out anyway. So that is becomes f dash x over f of x. So therefore, the answer is ln of 2y minus 3. So let me just write this down. So that will give me a half of ln 2y minus 3 absolute value. Of course, I integrate dx, give me x. And do not forget, we need to add a constant. So we know that when x is negative 3, I write this down. And y, give me 2. So let's substitute that in. A half ln. So 2 times 2 will give me 4 because y is 2. So 4 minus 3 equal to x is negative 3. We add a c. So this means that 4 minus 3 give me 1. Let me just write this down. So that become a half ln of 1. So absolute value give me 1 anyway. So that give me minus 3 plus c. So ln 1 give me 0. So the whole thing becomes 0. So this means that 0 is negative 3 at c. We move on that side. C give me 3. So now we just substitute this into this c here. So that will give me a half ln 2y minus 3 absolute value equal x plus c. And we know that c is 3. So we just add 3. And of course, we need to solve for y. So I times 2 on both sides. So this will result in ln absolute value 2y minus 3 is x times 2, 2x. And 2 times 3 is 6. So there you go. So now we need to unlock it. Don't forget, ln of I is the same as log by e of I. Don't forget. So we unlock both sides. So this will give me 2y minus 3 is equal to e to the power of 2x at 6. And I move the negative 3 on this side, become plus 3. So that becomes 2y is e to the 2x at 6. And then we plus 3 out here. And I just divide by 2 on both sides. So that will give me y is a half brackets. We just write like this, okay? So that become e to the 2x at 6 plus 3. So there you go. Otherwise, you can write a half of e 2x plus 6 plus 3 over 2. Okay, so that's it. And thank you. Let's move on next one. Part B, again, we just separate the y with the y function. So we just do cross multiply. So that becomes 2y dy is 5 dx. Of course, you can just times y on both sides. If you wish, it becomes y dy is equal to 5 over 2 dx. And it still works. Okay, nothing wrong with that. But just dealing with whole number, easier. That's all. So now I integrate both sides. So that means integrate 2y respect to y. Give me 2y squared over 2. So that becomes 2y squared over 2. So that will give me integrate 5 respect to x is 5x. And do not forget, we need to add a constant c. So now what we do, we can just simplify this first. These two cancel out. So that becomes y squared is 5x at c. And now we need to find a constant c because we had the condition here. When x is 1, y is negative 2. We just substitute that in. So that become like this. Negative 2 square is 5. X is 1. We add c. So that means 4 is 5 at c. So therefore, I move the 5 on this side. That becomes 4 minus 5. So that gives me negative 1. So that is c is negative 1. So there you go. So this means that y squared is 5x minus 1. And remember, we need to solve for y. My y as a subject. So I take square root on both sides. So y squared, square root of that, give me y. And of course, every time we put the square root on both sides, we have a plus or a minus. So 5x minus 1. There you go. But the condition is when x is 1, don't forget, y is negative 2. So when x is 1, y is negative number. So therefore, the answer should be negative instead of positive. So this means that therefore, y is square root of 5x minus 1. Square root of this and negative. Okay, so don't forget, because when x is 1, y is negative 2. So the answer should be negative. So there you go. Part C. Again, I just do cross multiply. So this becomes like this. So that means 3y squared dy, which give me 2 dx. Integrate both sides. So if I integrate on this side, I do the same thing on the right hand side. 3y squared with plus 1, so 3y power 3 over 3. So 3y power 3, we divide this by 3. And that integrate 2 dx is 2x. And do not forget, we need to add a constant after the integrations. So now we just simplify. So that cancel out. So that give me y power 3 is 2x at c. Then we know that when x is 3, y will give me 1. So we use this to find the constant c. So y equal 1, that means 1 power 3, give me 1. 2 times 3, give me 6. We add a letter c. So then move on this side. So that become 1 minus 6 is negative 5. So negative 5 equals c. So this means that c is negative 5. So there you go. So this means that y power 3 is 2x plus c. c is negative 5. So we minus 5. And don't forget, we need to solve for y. So we just cube root on both sides. So this means that y is cube root of that. So let me just write this down. 2x minus 5 cube root. So there you go. Last one. So again, we need to separate dy with y functions. So first thing is I times dx on both sides. So that becomes dy is 9 plus y squared dx. Of course, we need to bracket this because a whole lot times dx. So now I just divide it by 9 plus y squared on both sides. So I just do this. I just need to do this. So that cancel out. So this is exactly the same as 1 over 9 plus y squared dy is dx. So don't forget. So now we need to know that if we integrate f dash x over a squared plus f of x squared respect to x, of course, this will give me 1 over a tan inverse of f of x over a. So don't forget, okay? So keep that in mind. So if I integrate this, so we can use this formula here, or this rule here, if you wish. So now a is 3, because 3 squared is 9. So 9 is 3 squared, okay? So a is 3, so that becomes 1 over a, that means 1 over 3. And 10 inverse of f of x, that is y over a. A is 3. I just follow the rules, that's all. And integrate dx, give me x. And then don't forget, we need to add a constant. And we know that when x is negative 1, y is 0. So I just substitute that in. So that means 1/3 tan inverse of y over 3, 0 over 3 is 0. And x is negative 1. We add c. So inverse tan of 0 is 0. So this means that 0 is -1. We add c. So therefore, c is equal to 1. So this means that 1/3 of 10 inverse of y over 3 is x plus 1. And don't forget, we solve for y. So I times 3 on both sides. So that becomes like this. 10 inverse y over 3 is equal to 3x plus 3. So there you go. And I take 10 on both sides. So that will give me y over 3 will give me 10 of 3x at 3. So there you go. And I times 3 on both sides again. So this means that y is 3 10 of 3x at 3. So there you go. And I hope you got all of them correct. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.